Heading into the Christmas break, it's the last bit of time off until it's full go mode for the pre-season. So for players, coaches and fans, what's one Christmas wish each of the AFL clubs have for the new season? The Crows should have been in the box seat to play finals, but the Ben Keys incident was all-time unlucky. They beat and competed at a high level against good teams, but fell just short a few times. One wish Matthew Nicks will have is to hope his team can improve on the road. They were just 2 wins and 8 losses away from Adelaide Oval and included very poor performances against the Bulldogs, Essendon, Suns and Giants. Getting the away record to 5-5 next year will go a long way into getting to play in September. Brisbane fans will be hoping their team can redefine some history in 2024, because the last time a losing grand finalist made it back to the same game the next year was all the way back in 2009. After Geelong was upset by Hawthorn in 2008, they bounced back and made the grand final the following year. They avenged the loss and beat St Kilda in 2009. Chris Fagan will be hoping no scars from the defeat carry into next season. Can Harry Mackay fix his goal-kicking demons? It was all-time bad last year, and his accuracy was a dismal 37.7%, down from the 56.9% it was when he took home the Coleman. Everyone at Carlton will be hoping he can find a solid routine and stick with it. His partnership with Charlie Curnow is what can make the Blues so daunting to face. The Dan McStay injury is not the way you want the off-season to go. Collingwood already have a fair few players out of main training, and to lose a pivotal forward already isn't good. They did win the premiership without him, but any more injuries at this point onwards to other best 22 players would leave them a little light to start the season. Hopefully for their sake, no more happen. The players at Essendon have taken a new stand. No more player-only trips, and it's all about putting in the work. Seems like every year, the Bombers are ready to put words into action, but now the fanbase really wants to see it. No more passes will be afforded if another drop-off occurs in the same way it did in 2023. A consistent 23 games, at least matching it up with some of the best teams, would show progress. Fremantle lacked some spark last year, and without David Mundy, the midfield heavily relied on Andrew Brayshaw and Caleb Sarong, maybe to a fault, but the injection of Hayden Young on ball for the last 5 rounds gave a different dynamic. They won 3 of their last 5 games, and Young's 29 disposal performance against Brisbane, in which he was matched up at times against Lachie Neale, showed his potential in the role. He is big and powerful while possessing a great kick and using his marking around the field. Fans will be hoping he begins round 1 at the centre square next to Brayshaw and Sarong. Can the young players at the Cats step up next year? Chris Scott will be hoping that the likes of Tanner Bruin, Max Holmes, Jai Clark and Mitch Nevitt can take their roles on the field a step up. They have the veterans ahead to guide the way, but the next iteration of Geelong for 5 to 10 years' time will be built on these players. If Holmes can be in the All-Australian discussion and the others can be steady best 22 players, it will go a long way to stabilising the Cats' future core. New coaches normally have a season to settle in with their new club, but there is big expectation with Damien Hardwick coming into Gold Coast. He himself will be wanting a good start to set the season up well, but it's a tricky first month with Richmond, Adelaide, the Western Bulldogs and GWS all in the first month. A winless or 1-3 start would set up scrutiny towards Hardwick and the Suns. The Giants setup is as solid as it gets in the AFL. They have veterans and high-end youth that fit their run-and-gun style. The club will be wishing number 1 pick Aaron Cadman can add some icing on their cake with a big second season. 12 games was good in his first year, and an improved 2024 would be fantastic. It would ease the pressure on Jesse Hogan and help out Jake Riccardi. If all of them can't play, then it puts pressure for spots in the forward mix, which is exactly what any top team wants. Looking in the forward half at Hawthorn, can Jack Ginnivan and number 5 pick Nick Watson form a formidable duo? Both are crafty natural forwards who can find the goals. They also will look to frustrate their opposition and their supporter base. Upping their defensive aspect will be important, but Sam Mitchell may just have his 1-2 punch for the future. A nice run of staying out of the media would be on the minds of all the Melbourne players and coaches. From the Simon Goodwin rumours, Clayton Oliver scenario, and general talk about culture, no news would be good news for the Demons. No doubt it would help concentration within the club's walls. Another little wish would be to further stop the noise on the forward half. Fans will be hoping a large portion of the off-season and pre-season is used to identify the main issue, whether it's the kicking inside 50 or the forward line players. Solving it early next year might put Melbourne at the top of premiership favouritism. Can North Melbourne finally get a stable year? Alistair Clarkson's great start was fractured early in 2023, but he should be revitalised and ready to go. The players will be anticipating learning off one of the best coaches in history. The football department, for the first time in a while, has solidified, and gaining chemistry on the field is the next step. The players are there to be developed, so from a fan's perspective, getting 2 or 3 new players in the All-Australian mix would show improvement, even if enough wins aren't there to get top 8. Port Adelaide's end-of-season wish was to fix up their key defenders. Fair to say, with the players they brought in through trade, this now looks solved. Besides that, the duo of Butters and Rosie is the engine of this team. They have to stay healthy. Rosie has shown great signs of durability in the past 2 seasons, while Butters' first full year ever saw him become a superstar. Coaches, fans and teammates will be praying the health of their duo continues next season. Unlike Gold Coast Suns coach Damien Hardwick, Adam Yze has time at the Tigers. Let's see what his game style can bring. Richmond fans will be hoping to see an exciting style that uses many of their forward half weapons such as Dustin Martin, Shai Bolton and a fit Tom Lynch. There isn't much winning expectation surrounding Richmond next year, so it gives a little time for Yze to coach his game plan and put his mark on this new Tigers era. As great as they were defending, the attacking phase of the Saints game will be important to improve. Ross Lyon has detailed a need for speed and explosive midfielders, so he will be hoping the likes of Paddy Dow and Liam Henry, along with internal growth, can provide this. On an individual level, Jack Steele battled through pain and injury all of last year, and if he can stay fully fit, expect a big year and return to his All-Australian form. Right now, he is still their best midfielder. Sydney's list manager, Kinnear Beatson, will be eagerly anticipating the performances of Taylor Adams and Brodie Grundy. Both will be 30 next year, and it signals that the Swans are going hard to challenge like they did in 2022. Adams should aid a slightly undermanned on-ball unit, while Grundy is expected to be their ruck saviour, a position which has had high turnover for the Swans in recent years. They could be big difference makers for Sydney in 2024. Adam Simpson will be wishing for some continuity next year. The Eagles were a bad squad, but there has to be some sympathy for the ridiculous injury list that emanated through parts of 2023. Seemingly all their veterans and experience was hurt, and often at the same time. It left a bunch of kids with not a whole lot of direction. If Tim Kelly, Jeremy McGovern, Elliot Yeo, Tom Barras and others can be on the park for all 23 games, expect the Eagles to be far more competitive and the young players to show growth. The Bulldogs are a bit of a wildcard team coming into next year. They're hard to judge, but a new revamped coaching department will be interesting to see. Supporters will want a more consistent and fit team that defends the ground far better than they have since 2021. Matt Egan, Daniel Pratt, Alex Johnson and Jaron Geary are all new members that will look to improve the frustrating Bulldogs.